Santa cup because it was snowing 3 days ago, so he is still in town.
True.
He's just making sure that the season is officially gone. He's not quite sure. He's a little confused.
Well, could have been some frost this morning somewhere, too, and I know there's a little bit of fog out there, so, Mother Nature is confused, too.
Exactly, and I'm confused because I'm still having to put my heat on at night. I get home, and I don't know what season it is. I'm still cranking the heat in my house. My electricity bill is still confused. It feels like November half the time, so...
Well... We're trying. It's now the month of May, so hopefully things will work out a little bit more like it should. Now, we wanted to talk about gardening. Now, we thought that May was National Gardening Month, but you said it was in April.
Yes, but next week is National Gardening Week. So I knew I was right, but it just feels wrong because it's so cold off and on. So
well, I do know when we had the nice weather back in March and beginning of April, people were getting their gardens ready and things like that, and farmers were putting some stuff in the ground, but
it's just confusing because the weather is misleading day to day. We're getting all the seasons in one week.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin. 80 degrees one day, snow the next. Yeah.
I've had to wear so many different types of coats in the last couple of weeks. I almost wore mittens the other day, so welcome to Wisconsin.
Yes. And if hopefully people that did do some early gardening and get their gardens ready, maybe planted a few things, hopefully things are still there, because with the rain that we've had, that could have brought the seeds up from the soil and not be planted the way they should.
Yes.
With the water sitting on the ground, or people haven't got into it. I know a lot of farmers wanted to get into the fields, now and have some stuff planted, and we're behind what we were like last year. But, the way those fields are, we need the sunshine and some few winds here to dry things out.
Yes, they say, after the last frost is when you're going to plant your cucumbers and your peppers. But when did we have our last frost, technically?
Well, remember last year we had frost on a Memorial Day weekend.
I swear we had frost like 2 days ago. So when is the last frost, gardeners?
Yeah,
when do we say this?
But if you got your stuff in the gardens a little early, or if you're waiting, to be a little bit more sure of when you're going to be able to get your stuff in, let's talk about, hopefully, why people like to garden. You and I have talked over how many times now about, like growing up. You grew up when you guys had a garden, and my mom had a big
definitely.
Garden. So, yeah, it's great when you get foods fresh out of the garden.
The difference, if you've never had... if all you ever know is going to the store and buying strawberries from the store, and maybe you're not a fan of strawberries or apples from the store because that's all you've ever tasted, and maybe you don't think they taste that great, wait until June or July when you can go to a local farm stand where farmers have grown them fresh and bite into those. They are a whole different ballgame. When a farmer has taken the time and planted a seed, and they aren't coming from a large warehouse, they have the most amazing flavor. Those beautiful hand-grown tomatoes and strawberries. Oh, my Lord. They are, I can't even explain. I think that is what helped me not be picky about tomatoes. I can eat fresh tomatoes right out of the ground, or cucumbers, but I'm pickier about green beans and things because I can't eat them coming out of a can.
And that's something that's I
can eat them fresh, but I can't eat them coming out of a can.
I've seen these, you see these memes on Facebook and stuff, and one of them that gets to me is nobody snaps green beans with grandma anymore.
I do with my sisters.
But, we grew up.
That's how she raises her kids.
We grew up doing that kind of stuff. You get your fresh green beans out of the garden, you snap green beans, or... you get the corn and you shuck your corn, and now, although I have found cooking it in the ear, cooking the corn in the shuck and then taking it out that way is a lot easier now to especially get those hairs out of there.
You made me get goosebumps though, because I'll shop at a local grocery store and I'll see the fresh green beans and I get goosebumps and I make myself buy them to snap them and cook them at home.
Yeah,
because it brings back memories of doing it with my mom and my grandma. So.
Like you said, everything that we grew up. Peas out of the garden, and mom boiling peas, and you eat peas in a pod. I would take a fresh tomato out of the ground, a little bit of salt, and there we go. Or not out of the ground, but off the vine.
Out of the ground, come on.
Cucumbers,
they come out of the ground?
Cucumbers right out of the garden, green peppers right out of the garden. That was summertime. I hated weeding the garden. I really hated weeding the garden, especially when it was, 90 degrees out and stuff, and you wanted to go someplace else. But you enjoyed getting everything out of the garden afterwards.
It was exhausting. So the reason I wanted to talk about next week and the importance of talking about National Gardening Week is because, one, I want to get back outside. We've been having a kind of a rough, we didn't have the roughest of winters, but we did have a lot of wind, and we did get stuck inside where we had more rain than snow, and we have missed how beautiful it is outside, the green. Yes, we've had some weird weather, but oxygen is so good for us. Let's get outside. Let's take our friends and our family and our kids and anyone from, age 1 to 99 and get outside and let's get our hands dirty and let's sit on the ground if we're able and let's just get our hands in the dirt and remember where our food comes from. We are so fortunate to be able to grow our own food. And let's get back to seeing where our food comes from and teaching one another where our food comes from, and let's be able to grow our own food and not be selfish and just, I don't know, it's pretty fabulous. And if we can grow our own food and share this food with one another and teach children where our food comes from, we can grow our own food and feed each other. And it's pretty cute and fun to show children where food comes from and take those fresh ingredients and feed each other. It's pretty cool. And I remember, like you said, growing up, and yes, it was hard work, but taking fresh fruits and vegetables and just taking like some pasta or taking some hamburger and creating a pasta salad or, antipasta and doing fun things like that. And seeing the look on Mom's face when it was all over my face and all over my hands. But I was so tired and so full, and I would pass out on the couch with dirt all over my hands, but I was full and I was happy, and Mom just giggled because she's like, Emily put up a fight, but look how happy and tired she is. And I went to bed at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, and Mom was so happy. The garden was done, the housework was done, Emily was full, and Mom could relax.
Yeah.
And that's all she wanted.
Yeah, and
it was a good day.
We've mentioned too healthier eating.
Yeah.
You know as well as I do, you get fresh food from the garden, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. The nutrients and stuff are a lot better for everybody fresh out of that garden than it is coming from the can.
Yeah. When it goes to a can, it can be fresh. It can, because you can stuff right from the garden. Like, you can can your own things. But what Kevin's talking about is when a big company makes stuff in the can, they can add a lot of salt. What I'm talking about is when I say canning, that means you can it at home by yourself. Yeah, that's a completely different thing. That is an option you can do. But what Kevin is talking about is when a large company takes fruits and vegetables and they bring in big old semis and they do it themselves and mass produce it, they may add preservatives and a ton of salt and different shelf stabilizers. That's a different kind of canning is what Kevin is talking about.
Well, my mom did home canning. I mean, her dill pickles,
oh, don't even get started.
I would have died for her. But she canned tomatoes, she canned green beans and yellow beans. So, we grew up with the basement full of the cellar with the mason jars and everything in them. Yep.
So going back to focusing on when I come onto the radio and I come here for WRJC, I've been coming on for 4 years now. If people aren't familiar, I work for the WIC program. I'm a dietitian, and something that I also focus on is, of course, I focus on WIC. So something exciting is, if you're not aware, when you are on the WIC program, per family, you get a certain amount of dollars of farmers market checks. And you're going to be getting those again this year. So that's in addition to the food that each participant receives. So on WIC, if you're breastfeeding or postpartum after you've had a baby, you would receive a dollar amount for buying fruits and vegetables. Plus, if you have a child over age 1, that participant will get money for fruits and vegetables. Up to age 5, each child does. But then your family as a bulk gets one package for farmers market check. So then you are allowed to get these garden fruits and vegetables that you get to buy at the farm stands between June and October. So what we're talking about right now is these local farmers that are located in the towns between anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. You don't have to just buy them in Juneau County. You get to travel and use the checks that you receive here in Juneau, Adams County. You get to travel between the months of June and October 31st and shop and buy local farm stand grown fruits and vegetables, which is so amazing. And that's that beautiful gift that you're going to receive from the state of Wisconsin, to buy pumpkins and tomatoes and strawberries and blueberries. If you've never had them, maybe you just never have done that. You get this beautiful gift of somebody's labor and seeds, which is really wonderful. Oh, it's Wednesday. It's so sad for plants.
Now 92.1 FM, and time to talk more with Emily Zimmerman from the Juneau County Health Department and the WIC program. You and I could go on and on talking about fresh fruits and vegetables and how it was when we were growing up, and how it would, we'd love to have it for everybody nowadays too. In town, there are more places that have community plots now that people can throw gardens, that people are doing gardens. You find that popping up in the cities a lot more. So that is one nice thing, that if you're in a town and in a city and you can't have a garden, but they have those community plots, to get involved with those.
And now, are those free?
Some are, some aren't. It
That's
all
a
depends
struggle,
who puts them together.
Is if they're not free, if there's a cost for that, that's going to be a struggle for people. So we'd have to find out if that is available for donations for people, because if they have to provide their own seeds and things like that. So we definitely want to find out more information on that and get a contact number for people.
But at least it's something to check into.
Definitely.
That could be an alternative.
I know that I've done, in years past, I had contacted the local community gardens and got more information. So that's something we could definitely look into for people.
Now, since it's National Gardening Week next week, let's talk a little bit about planting.
Okay, so planting is really simple, and I know I've looked into it in the past. If anyone receives food share, that's considered a food item, and you can buy seeds with food share. I'm like 90% sure you'll want to just go up to, I'm 90% sure. I've looked into that before, almost 99% sure that's considered a food item. You can buy seeds with food share. But as far as just buying seeds in general, what you want to do is, you don't want to bury them too deep. You just want to put them in a shallow area, cover with a little bit of dirt, keep them moist, not too wet. And the ones that you want to do in early spring are going to be things like broccoli, carrots. And for carrots, you want to make sure that the weeds surrounding the area, you want to make sure to weed the surrounding area well, since the weeds can take your carrots' nutrients. Lettuce will benefit significantly from your kitchen compost. Other ones are going to be turnips, beets, potatoes, cilantro, carrots, cabbage, celery, onion, peas, and spinach. So those are going to be the ones that you want to plant right now for vegetables. Fruits, let's see. Oh, I must have only clicked on vegetables. Fruits. All right, I can't think. What do you plant for fruits in the spring?
That I don't know. I never did any of the planting. Just had to do all the weeding.
Why didn't I think?
But that's the thing. There are some stuff you can get away with planting early, and some you've got to wait a little while.
Oh, here it is. I knew this was right. Raspberries, cherries, strawberries, blueberries, and avocados. So more of like the berries are to what to plant right now.
Okay.
And what you'll be noticing popping up right now is going to be things like your asparagus. You're going to be seeing that out in the wild kind of popping up. And you're going to find the mushrooms out in the wild.
I don't know how many times driving around as a kid, all of a sudden they'd pull the car over and go, they'd spot the wild asparagus out there, and they would go and pick the wild asparagus. Or, especially, in Wisconsin, you go hunting for morel mushrooms. I mean, everybody.
Yes, morel. I couldn't think of the word.
So I mean, I remember, that happening a lot as a kid of all of a sudden we're driving somewhere and, oops, nope, now we got to stop.
And if you are going to go out and be picking or planting, make sure you wear long sleeves and long pants, because there's going to be a lot of other things growing right now. Poison ivy and things like that. And remember what was happening last year that was on the news, that wild parsley that looks like a flower is the one that gives everybody the blisters on the skin.
And the other thing, especially with long sleeves too, now the ticks are out. So You got to watch out for those too.
Yep. Because you don't want to go out with your children or yourself and come home and have issues. But definitely watch out for that wild parsley. You want to look that up before you go out and the woods looking for the mushrooms or anything, I would search that. Search for wild parsley. It kind of looks like almost like baby's breath, but it will give you blisters. It was on the news last year. The only way to get rid of it is to burn it.
Okay, so
just wanted to put that information out there. I know we're talking about gardening week, but that was horrible. I got it last year, and I know some other people did, and it's very painful.
So again, if you need information about gardening, about when's a good time, what you can or cannot do with your WIC program, just call you at the General County Health Department in the WIC program. You'll give them the answers or give them the ability to find the answers.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, and the reason I wanted to talk about National Gardening Month next week is because, like you said, you and I could talk about this so much, is because gardening and eating fresh fruits and vegetables from the garden was brought up so early, and just part of our growing up early in life is because our parents also had that in their lives growing up early. And I think it's really important for you as a child, young, or to do that with your children. Even if your children aren't young right now, maybe they're in their teens, still do it now for them, or do it as yourself as an adult. Give yourself a chance, give your children, give that to them in their life now, because if you've never done it, it's a wonderful thing to start. I was kind of picky as a child. I really didn't. I mean, it was in my life, but I was like, Mom, that's gross. And now I've really opened up to more fruits and vegetables, and it's amazing how your palate can really enjoy the taste, and you can cook and enjoy those things, and the taste of fresh fruits and vegetables versus maybe the ones you've bought in the store that were made in a greenhouse and things like that. The ones that actually grow from the ground and enjoy the sunlight and that were tended to by someone's hands. Like, enjoy the garden. And like you said, if you have questions and you want to contact us at the Juneau County Health Department in the WIC program, we have one number for the Juneau Adams WIC program. We are 2 counties, but we have one phone number. It's 608-847-9375. And also the best way to get a hold of us is we are on Facebook, and it is Juneau Adams WIC.
Okay. Let the kids get dirty on the garden.
Yes, let them run around. Let them help you out in the garden. Let them pull weeds. Stretch first. Let them pull weeds. Take water with you. Let them help water things. Take water to drink often. Pour water over their heads. Kids are going to get hot faster, and the best way to cool down is pour water over both of your heads. Your head's going to cool down the whole part of your body, and just get them outside and enjoy things. Put them in the wheelbarrow and pull them around with the tomatoes. Just let them be kids.
Let them find worms in the garden.
My goodness. There were so many worms out the other day after that rain. I came outside. I thought it was a rock next to my garage. It was a pile of worms fighting over I think it was I don't even know, but it was hilarious. I thought it was a rock. It was a pile of worms.
But I mean, that's the thing. Let the kids go out and have some fun. It's going to be fun. They're gonna have fun getting dirty. They're gonna have fun asking you questions about what's this and what's this, and it's just a good way. Like you said, we got to get out. Now that we got some sunshine out, you got to get out with the kids and have some fun. And this is a great way to have fun, plus learn things, plus get some great food once the food comes up.
Show them the smallest thing. Show them the seed. Show them putting the seed into the dirt. Have them water it, and then maybe even take a picture. And then after a couple days, once the seed starts coming up and forming into the first part, when it comes up and makes a sprout, and then as it turns into a carrot, and then it turns into a taller carrot, and then it turns into the full carrot, take pictures and make maybe a picture book with them, and it's going to be pretty cool. And then there are some vegetables like celery and things where after you have used it, you can replant it and have it grow back. It's pretty awesome. So your kids are going to be bewildered and excited, and they're going to want you to do it over and over and over again, or even compost piles. So just let kids be kids, and they will want to do it over and over. Mom, please, please do it again. Dad, show me, show me. And they'll never want to stop. And so you can, even in the wintertime, you can grow plants that in the house to do it in this, to be grown back in the ground. They're never going to want you to stop if you start. So let kids be kids. And it's like growing plants can be like having a pet if you just do it right. So I had a little plant that I wanted to grow all the time, and my mom didn't even tell me that my little plant died, and I totally thought it was still alive in my little when you grow the plants where it's like the wet paper toweling in the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know my bean sprout died. I think my mom kept putting a new one in there for me all the time. I think I had like 7, and I never knew my bean sprout died. My mom was a real trooper. So let kids be kids and let their imagination run, and take them outside next week, and let gardening be gardening, and let kids be kids.
Okay, talking with Emily Zimmerman quickly. What do we got coming up for WIC?
All right, so tomorrow is our early clinic. It starts at 8 a.m. and we are there till 3. And then Friday we're going to be in Adams from 9 to 3. And then next week we've got some exciting things that we're going to be doing for our 2 pickup days in Adams. So we'll be in Adams on Monday. That's where you'll get the text messages. I usually send them out. If you haven't noticed, you get them like week before, day before, and day of. That's just, we're all busy people, and I want to remind you where you'll get the someone in your home as benefit issuance. That's telling you next week your card's probably going to run out if you don't have appointments. So next week, Monday and Tuesday, is our pickup days. We'll be in Adams on Monday, and we'll be in Mauston on Tuesday.
Okay, and you can always give you a call to find out again if you didn't remember the dates.
And then next week, if you don't remember, we are in Linden Station next week, Thursday. We'll be at the Miller's Grocery Store. If you want to come shopping with WIC, we're there to promote Miller's Grocery Store next Thursday between 1 and 4. We would love to see you. I'm going to be at Miller's Grocery Store between 1 and 4. Come and see me. And the same day, we're going to be at Big Flats from 9 to noon. Come and see us, please. We can't wait to see you.
Okay, well, thank you, Emily. And again, give you a call at the Juneau County Health Department. Go on the Facebook page and find out all this information that we've been talking about.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always great to have you in here, Emily. We'll talk to you again next month.
All right, thanks.